My name is Dayton Tenenbaum, and I'm the country lead for Canada at Nordic Pharma. Nordic is a privately owned pharmaceutical company with a presence in 17 countries internationally. Historically, Nordic has been solely European focused, and here in Canada we represent the first overseas expansion of the company. Nordic relies on the development and sales of its own products, but also on partner products acquired at various stages of development. In line with Nordic Pharma's core values of integrity, ambition, respect, and reliability, we're very excited to bring products to the Canadian market that bring actual value to patients' lives. In launching our first product here late next year in the field of rheumatology, which is one of Nordic Pharma's core therapeutic portfolios, we'll aim to provide healthcare providers with products that enable them to deliver appropriate and more efficient patient care. While respecting each individual stakeholder, the environment, and local regulations, we'll be working towards making a sustainable impact on Canadian patient lives.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on our road show today. Today we're touring Barrie in Simcoe County, Orillia, as part of our second last stop on our third annual road show. This is also National Biotechnology Week, so this is one of the ways in which we celebrate the great things happening throughout the province of Ontario within our life sciences industry. I think my daughter had that exact bite, actually. All right. I'd like to start off by giving a land acknowledgement, and the one that you'll see up on the screen is actually where I'm located in Mississauga. But because we're coming to you virtually from Simcoe County, I'd like to acknowledge that Simcoe County is actually located on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe people, which include the Ottawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. We also acknowledge the Wendat Nation, or Huron, who occupied these lands prior to the middle of the 17th century. We are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and recognize the enduring presence of the Indigenous peoples on this land. We are committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. I'd also like to take a moment now to thank our event sponsor for today's roadshow, and that is Nordic Pharma. It's my pleasure to introduce Sadia Soban, the product manager for Nordic Pharma Inc., to provide a few words about Nordic.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today to represent Nordic Pharma. We are very fortunate to be a part of this most vibrant and largest life science community in Canada. Nordic is a privately owned pharmaceutical company with a presence in over 17 countries across Europe. And in Canada, it is known as Nordic Pharma Inc., which is the first affiliate of Nordic Group outside of Europe, with a headquarters based in Toronto, focusing on its operational business to expand in North America, Latin America, Asia, and Pacific region. Currently, we are working closely with all the stakeholders to bring our first innovative solution that Nordic has to offer in the area of rheumatology, which we are thinking like the auto-injector to commercialize next year in Canada, with a vision to work closely with all the stakeholders and collaborate with the healthcare professionals and policymaker. We are trying to set an example on how we strive to make a societal impact beyond our medicines and can offer that innovative solution to every patient in Canada suffering from rheumatoid arthritis and psoriatic arthritis, with a vision to make their lives better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sadia. Really exciting product, and want to say thank you to Nordic Pharma for supporting today's event. It's great to have you as part of our roadshow. It's now my pleasure to introduce our first speaker. We're going to have a short presentation from Joanna Griggs from the County of Simcoe, and then afterwards we'll follow that up with a panel. So Joanna, over to you.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for having us here to speak with you. Get started here with our next slide, please. So the County of Simcoe, Barrie, and Orillia are located within the Greater Golden Horseshoe, one of North America's fastest growing regions. The region is critical to the economic success of Ontario and Canada, generating a full 2/3 of the province's GDP and 1/4 of the nation's GDP. Connectivity is one of our greatest assets. We're connected to major highways facilitating transportation to Canadian, US, and international markets, with over 130 million people within a one-day drive. The Lake Simcoe Regional Airport is a 24/7 operation with on-site Canadian Customs that features a 6,000-foot runway to accommodate most commercial aircrafts. Further runway expansions are underway, which will increase the length to 7,000 feet. Pearson International, Canada's largest air transportation hub, is also within a 1-hour drive and provides domestic and international access. Short-line rail service is also available and provides daily interchanges with CPR Intermodal Terminal and the CN Rail, connecting to major North American cities. As you can see, our region is growing rapidly. By 2051, the total population in the region is estimated to be over 900,000, an increase of over 368,000. Employment forecasts indicate an increase of almost 160,000 jobs to a total of 374,000 jobs by 2051. As prices in the GTA increase, development is moving north to lower cost communities like Barrie, Orillia, and those in Simcoe County. For example, fully serviced land in Orillia is $450,000 an acre. In Bradford, it's $800,000 to $900,000 an acre, and in North Simcoe, it's about $500,000 an acre for industrial land. The County of Simcoe also hosts an online land inventory to help investors identify opportunities. The City of Barrie has an employment land strategy, which has resulted in the development of an $18.6 million fund to accelerate the infrastructure development on some employment lands to ensure large parcels of land are ready for future business and employment opportunities. This is one of many incentive programs available throughout the region. The County of Simcoe, Barrie, and Orillia offers an unbeatable lifestyle that has something for everyone. From arts and cultural attractions to live music and sporting events to outdoor recreation, there are year-round opportunities that attract people to the region to live, work, and play. There are over 1.7 million people in the workforce within a 1-hour radius and 390,000 within the region that local businesses have access to. To complement this, labor force education and training is supported by several institutions and organizations in the area. These include Georgian College, Lakehead University, and private colleges. The region is home to Lakehead University with a campus in Orillia and Georgian College. Not only do these institutions offer in-demand programming, but they also have strong research capabilities. Lakehead University's Office of Innovation, Partnerships, and Economic Development provides access to resources for industry, supports student and faculty startup businesses, and maintains linkages with research and business partners. Georgian College's Department of Applied Research and Innovation provides in-depth assistance for applied research and commercialization projects. We will hear more about the Lakehead Georgian Life Sciences degree diploma from David Law, Associate Professor at Lakehead, during the panel discussion, so I won't go into too much detail here. I would like to highlight the Sadalon Center for Health and Wellness at Georgian College, which offers community health and wellness clinics to help meet local demand for healthcare services in Barrie and beyond. The Royal Victoria Regional Healthcare Centre is the largest health centre in Simcoe, Muskoka, with plans to expand in both Barrie and Innisfil. A 730 square foot tower will be added to the North Campus in Barrie over the next decade, while the future RVH South Campus in Innisfil will, in the next 10 years, be a health hub focused on outpatient clinics, day procedures, and an urgent care center. In 20 years, a full-service acute care hospital, 24/7 emergency department, and operating rooms is also planned. The RVH Family Medicine Teaching Unit is a training site for medical, nursing, and nurse practitioner students. It's affiliated with RVH, the University of Toronto's Department of Family and Community Medicine, and the Barrie Community Family Health Team. The RVH Center for Education and Research partners with industry and academia to ensure that patients throughout Simcoe County can receive the best care close to home, conducting clinical research in priority areas, including oncology, advanced cardiac care, kidney care, child and youth mental health, and emergency medicine. In 2020 and 2021, there were 26 active clinical trials and 23 publications, including 2 COVID clinical trials and 3 COVID publications. RVH joined nearly 40 other health organizations across Canada to participate in the World Health Organization's Solidarity clinical trial to examine the potential therapies for COVID-19. This multinational trial is unprecedented in its level of global collaboration, enrolling almost 12,000 patients in 500 hospital sites in over 30 countries. Built on a well-established and innovative medtech cluster, including medical devices and equipment, research and medical laboratories, and digital health solutions, Simcoe County, Barrie, and Orillia's robust life science sector is quickly growing. There are a number of industry leaders located in the region, some of who you will have the opportunity to hear from as part of our panel discussion. Excuse me. There are a number of supports available to businesses throughout the region through our economic development offices. Sorry, next slide. With our strategic location, talented workforce, R&D opportunities, and strong sector leaders, the life sciences sector in Simcoe County, Barrie, and Orillia is well positioned for future growth. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Joanna. And, I was reminded this morning that I actually grew up in Simcoe County, going to high school in Alliston and working a part-time job in Barrie. So this stop on our roadshow has been a bit of a homecoming for me. So thanks very much for taking the time to profile Simcoe County. I just want to remind participants that any questions for Joanna or for our panel, you can add them in the Q&A button down below. So now I'm going to introduce our panel. Moderating this panel is Stephanie Schlichter, the Director of Economic and Creative Development. Vern Solomon from ESC. Vern is a longtime member and supporter of LSO. Vern, great to see you. Lisa Ann Stewart from Dutramed, and Dave Law from Lakehead University. Their full bios are available on the Feedloop platform, so you can check them out there. So Stephanie, over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jason, and thank you to the LSO team for having us today and for those participating. We are thrilled at the opportunity to share about our community and area, and most importantly, showcase 2 of our superstars, along with our post-secondary institutions that support the sector here in Barrie, Simcoe County, and Orillia. So with that, I'm going to dive right in and give our panelists a couple of minutes each just to give a little bit of an overview of who you are and what your company is all about. And then I think we've got, we'll dive into discussion. So I'm just going to go by Hollywood Squares here. And Vern, you are first on the list.
Morning all. Vern Saul with Environmental Systems Corporation. We talk about creating environments for success, because a lot of what we do is temperature, humidity, pressure related, clean rooms, all the controlled environment that goes around it, and then the control systems. And our products are sold all across, designed and built all across North America.
Thank you so much, Vern. Lisa.
Well, thank you very much. We have a group of companies, one of which, Dutramed, is based in Collingwood, Ontario. And we really export globally. And we really have a group of PhD scientists working in the deuterium oxide vertical. So world specialists and the center of supply globally.
Fantastic, thank you. And Dave Law, over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dave. I'm an associate professor in biology at Lakehead University. I moved from our Thunder Bay campus to our Orillia campus about 6 years ago, specifically to support our expanding life sciences programs. So we have a life sciences program both based just in Orillia, and a little more recently, we've started a partnership program with Georgian College, where students can do in 4 years, they can get a 2-year biotechnology diploma in health sciences from Georgian, as well as an applied life sciences degree from Lakehead. So that's proved pretty popular.
That's great news. Thank you. So when we look at this area, and I think, Dave, you just started to touch on some of the benefits or opportunities within the area. For Vern and Lisa, to start us off, what do you see as the biggest advantages for you being located in this area? And maybe Lisa, I'll start with you if that's okay.
Sure. Well, you just can't overlook corporate culture these days. I mean, live more now. Really, our company has a lot of fun, and we have competition and sports, and you think, what's that got to do with research? Well, all these really smart people need to have a break sometimes. So you have to make, use of where you're located, and it's a playground in South Georgian Bay. So that's one thing. And then I think Vern and I agree on the infrastructure, transportation, logistics strength of Simcoe County. You just can't beat access for shipping. You've got highways, you've got straight to the airport, and even private airports for private jets. Vern, over to you.
Yeah, and you can't underestimate that sort of north of Highway 9. It just changes your life. It seems to be that everybody here just is a little closer to the cottage if you got a cottage, or you're living at the cottage. And when you're 20 minutes from home, you're 20 minutes from home, not an hour and a half from home, like you could be in a more congested area. But realistically, at the right time of day, we can be at the airport in 45 to 55 minutes. So, that's all that circle around Toronto and see how long it takes you to get there. So we try and keep it quiet though, a little bit.
That's
Lots
great.
Of come here. Oh, sorry.
And Dave, you spoke to the programs growing. Can you chat a little bit about sort of the composition of students, sort of who's attracted here and why, in terms of your program participants?
Yeah, absolutely. We have quite a few students who have transferred from other universities and are interested in pursuing, the other university might not have been offering what they wanted in terms of a program. And we really stress the applied and the applied life sciences. So we give students lots of hands-on opportunities to learn skills that will be useful later in their jobs. And interestingly, we attract a lot of students from the GTA. So I think that really speaks to the quality of our program. At least they're driving against traffic when they come up in the morning. And so we have when I poll my students, we have a surprising number of students who live in the GTA and who choose to drive every day. So I think that's a good testament to the uniqueness of our programs and their quality.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dave. And if anyone in the audience has any burning questions, please do feel free to pop them in the chat. One of the themes we'd spoken about, certainly this area is poised for some significant growth. And I think for both Dutramed and ESC, there's growth. You've been growing and continue to grow. And so what does this area mean to you, or how does that support you in those growth plans and scaling a business? And Vern, maybe we'll start with you.
Well, I mean, it's got a well-educated workforce. We don't, you know, we're always looking for people, but we don't seem to be missing people. We can find the skills that we need locally, and it's like I said, it's biz lifestyle. We're growing. I mean, we just moved into 66,000 square feet, thanks to Steph for helping us get a building permit. And you know, we just keep, every day I go away, I come back and find somebody new working here that I'm never sure they work for us, or they. So I went away for 10 days and 5 more people joined the company.
That's great. Lisa?
Well, honestly, scaling is a challenge. I'm not going to lie. We're doubling our footprint in Collingwood currently. We have an acre there. But one of the things that we found is very successful is working on a hub and spokes model, where we are the hub and we actually are working closely with universities and colleges, okay? So inside Simcoe County and outside Simcoe County. We work with Georgian College, we work with Waterloo, we work with Sherbrooke in Quebec. So that way we expand our expertise and our facilities. And we've been able to focus on some really interesting IP this way.
Excellent, thank you. And Dave, you've spoken about the growth of interest. Anything you want to add to this particular component around the supporting of companies and their growth and scaling from the education side?
No, absolutely. And I'd also like to add that Lakehead, in terms of scaling, Lakehead has 2 campuses, and our slightly bigger campus is in Thunder Bay, but it really hopes to outgrow them someday soon. And so we offer, you know, when students take courses, there's a number of opportunities to take courses from the Thunder Bay side as well. So that really speaks to, allows them to access the full scale of all the expertise at Lakehead, not just faculty at Orillia. And we're very interested. So Lakehead, the Applied Life Sciences programs at Lakehead Orillia are fairly new. And so we're always looking for opportunities to work more with industry. Currently, we're talking about a co-op program to allow our students to do placements locally. So I'm very excited about those opportunities for our students, not just in health sciences, but I think there are opportunities in agricultural biotech as well locally. So I like the full range of biotechnology. Being a former Monsanto employee myself, I really like biotech.
That's great. Thank you, Dave. Again, going on sort of that theme of growth and looking at growth changes as a result of the pandemic, can you touch on what some of those key opportunities have been? And do you see changes in your industry being permanent, or what sort of temporary in terms of impacts from the pandemic piece? And maybe, Lisa, may I turn to you first?
Sure. Honestly, we work, all our staff have notebook computers. So when pandemic hit, they just closed their computers and walked home. And we were identified immediately as an essential service from our customers in the United States. So I worked closely with Town of Collingwood to get signs to put on the building. And we actually shipped more in January than we ever normally would. So all the funding for January didn't work for us because we were ahead of plan. So, of course, we're the manufacturing stayed in office the entire time. And I'd say the difference is that we have more flexibility. I'm working actually from Owen Sound today, which is another one of our businesses, but I could be working from wherever. And I don't think it was that flexible before. So we are able to resource virtually as well as work virtually.
That's great. Vern?
I think the same thing. I mean, we have opportunities now for people to live at a wider geography. You know, manufacturing, like Lisa said, manufacturing has to be here. We haven't figured out how to do that yet, but it is interesting that some of the things that we may not have thought we could do prior to the pandemic. I mean, we virtually did projects across North America without ever having even seen the project. And if you'd asked that 3 years ago, I'd have said I couldn't have done it because, you know, we're too important. We have to be there. So that, and I mean, the big change that we're seeing in the world is more and more data and more the applications of data. Got a nice project with Georgian College where we're adding some AI analytics into the products we deliver to be able to predictably talk about the outcomes that, you know, in the life sciences industry, you're running batches that are worth a lot of money. And if that batch goes sideways because of something that we could have controlled, there's some great savings there. So that's, you know, we started as a refrigeration air conditioning service company 40 years ago, and you know where we are today is something completely that I would have never dreamed. And Simcoe County unlocks your dreams.
Oh, Vern, we're keeping that one. And you touch on a really great point, Vern, and a really great segue to talking about collaboration within your industry, within the region, and how that really benefits and supports your growth in the area. So could I get you to touch on that for us, please, Vern?
Sure. I mean, there's a great ecosystem, and you know, I've talked a lot about how if you go back 40 years when I first started working in the area, I mean, I grew up, I was a Banting alumni like Jason as well, so not as famous as him, but we, you know, when you look at Barrie was very much a large corporate city or town back in those days. I mean, it was dominated by companies where head offices were somewhere else. And I think the most exciting thing about Barrie today is that it is Lisa and Dutramed. It is all these local entrepreneurs that own their businesses and are, you know, committed to the city as well. Yeah, we've got the box stores and all that, but that's just retail. And, you know, Bayfield Street's got all the fast food places, but that's the world. But you know, if you look at where the jobs are being created, these are locally owned businesses here. And I think it's just the most exciting time to be here.
I'm on mute. Thank you. Lisa, go ahead, please.
Well, I was just going to say, like, the obvious connection we haven't referenced yet is we worked with Vern. We bought clean rooms this year, actually last year. And that was a big part of our expansion and improvement in products. And so really, it was great to be on the panel with him because these are two businesses which crossed. And we were able to produce a BioPure deuterium oxide really at a very high level that'll get, it's already been approved as a non-compendial excipient, and we're working with pharma. And that's what we do on the whole API chain. We build the building blocks. So the clean room has elevated us to produce even a better product than we expected. So we've been very pleased with that relationship. And I think it's accelerated, and we're having really good results with our biomolecule stabilization program, the technology, which is the most exciting thing. You can see a press release on our website from last year, or May 2021, I think. And so we've had great progress on this.
That's amazing, and we always love to hear the intercompany collaborations. And then Dave, in terms of Georgian, Lakehead, and some of that applied and industry academic collaboration, anything you want to touch on from that lens?
Yeah, I think traditionally our graduates from applied life sciences have been really focused on working in healthcare. They've been very successful too, you know, about 20 to 30% of our graduates make it into medical school. And we have significant success placing our graduates in things that are even harder to access, like optometry and OVC, the vet college as well. But I think one of the things I like to do is point out that biotech is more than just healthcare, and having these opportunities locally for students to go and work with potential future employers is, I think, a real plus, and it'll really expand the students' idea of what they could do after they graduate.
Fantastic, thank you. And I know we are kissing our time here, so I think we will leave this here as a teaser and hope that we have the opportunity to invite the LSO and membership up to our area to meet us all in person and give you a tour. So I will leave that there and turn the floor back to Jason. And thank you, Vern, Lisa, and Dave for supporting us today.
Thank you, Stephanie, and thank you to all the panelists for participating today. And I am definitely going to take you up on that offer. As I said, that will be definitely a bit of a homecoming for me. So really looking forward to that, Stephanie. A few housekeeping notes just to wrap up. Our road trip will continue tomorrow. We're at our final stop for National Biotech Week, and it will be in Ottawa. So join us again tomorrow morning from 9 to 9:30. We will also continue our webinar series on October 5th. That's a very special event. This is actually the kickoff to our bigger policy forum event on November 3rd. This is going to be a webinar with a guest from Denmark, and we'll also have representatives from Ontario and Quebec. And this will be a sharing of best practices and learnings around the implementation of a robust life sciences strategy. As we all know, Ontario finally has a life sciences strategy, still needs to be implemented successfully. So we're going to be talking to Quebec, to Denmark, to learn from them. On November 3rd, we have a full day session. This is going to be in person at the Bay Adelaide Centre in Toronto. We will also be having a hybrid option available as well. This is an event that was formerly our policy forum. We've now branded it to our Ideas to Action Forum. And this is really what we're focused on as we talk about the Life Sciences Strategy Ontario. We're talking about implementation, we're talking about action. So join us for that session. Should be really interesting. And a reminder, our nominations for our awards are open until Monday. Please submit your nominations. If you know of outstanding life sciences companies or individuals, please submit your nominations. You don't have to submit to every category. If you just have one person for lifetime achievement or a company for company of the year, you can make that nomination online. The form is really easy and quick to fill out. So I'd encourage you all to please check that out. Just a reminder, on the FeedLoop platform, we do have exhibitors, so please visit our exhibit hall. If you request information from an exhibitor, you will be entered into a draw for a $250 Visa gift card. And if you request all four, you will get 4 entries. So please do that. Special thank you to all of our sponsors. These are our corporate sponsors, our platinum sponsors shown here, our gold sponsors, as well as our silver sponsors. And we would not be able to host events like this without the support of our corporate sponsors. And a very special thank you to today's event sponsor, Nordic Pharma. Thank you, Sadia, for joining and supporting our road trip to Simcoe County. And thank you all for attending today and joining us. Look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.